Senna.
Pals. Wow is the first word out of my mouth with regards to Thunderbolts. We just got done watching the film. I am joined by Courtney Wright again, and so I'm just talking all over you. I'm so excited. Go ahead, say your hello again, Courtney. Your emphatic hello.
I mean, I was like trying to like say it quietly.
Trying to just wedge it in there.
I was like, hello.
I am so happy. I am very, very relieved and very, very happy with this film. What you see in the trailer, it gives you more than that. It delivers on more than what it promises. And it's like, it's not that often that you get a movie that does that. I don't want to give any specifics yet. What we're gonna do is just give general feelings about the film, our experience, with as much ambiguity as possible, super cryptic, and then we'll go a little bit deeper. Again, it's still a non-spoiler discussion, but I like to give the very cryptic answer up front for those of you guys who are like, no. So, you know, I'm sorry if I'm obnoxious. I'm so excited. I love this movie.
I was pleasantly surprised. First of all, I was rooting for this movie. I really have been waiting for it, and I was not disappointed. I don't even know, when I left that theater, I was so full of feelings, and I was like, I don't know what I think about this movie, but now that I've processed it, I really enjoyed it. I thought the overall dynamic of the cast, the team together, was wonderful.
On almost every single level, this movie is firing at a 10 out of 10. So, like, between the acting, the story, the music, the action, there is something I didn't like, but it's such a persnickety thing that someone like me would attack. So I'm not going to go into that until well deep into the review, because it honestly doesn't matter. I think 99.9% of people who go watch this are going to thoroughly enjoy themselves. I will say, though, just as a caution to parents who are taking their kids, this film is darker than the trailer lets on. And so yes. I just want y'all to be prepared for that. It goes to some deep places, and I think it's all the better for it. Court, if you could give us the rundown, synopsis, non-spoiler, real quick, of what happens in Thunderbolts, just so people know what to expect a little bit. Un poquito.
You're dropped into Yelena, and she's on a mission. She has been sent there to complete a job. All of a sudden, we're finding out that there's more going on with Yelena. Sorry. Let me start that again, because
I got the IMDb right here. I got this. I got you,
good.
bro.
You do it.
After finding themselves ensnared in a death trap, an unconventional team of antiheroes must embark on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their pasts.
Okay, then.
I gave you an opportunity.
That was a great. I was like admiring your like deep and like.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me.
No, I was like your deep and cinematic voice.
I was just making fun of myself, honestly.
Okay.
I like when you do your plot summaries.
Okay, I didn't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this.
This is fine. So let's start off with the story. Okay. So there is a strong story, a strong foundation here on which to hang all the comedy, the action, everything going on. It's not like any other Marvel movie I've seen. It might just be my favorite Marvel film since Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is like the apex for me. I know that's not everybody's favorite for reasons I can totally understand, but for me it was my favorite, and now it might be this. I just came back from the theater, so I gotta let it settle in there for like a week before I can really confirm that, but that's my feeling right now.
I would say that I don't count Deadpool and Wolverine because that's, its own thing. But this might be my favorite film since Endgame.
Okay, I see that.
Because it delivers that same hero team energy that I have not seen in a very long time. That was fulfilled in me, and I was really hoping to get that, and it did not disappoint. I really enjoyed the journey, the story. I thought it was wonderful. You didn't just have these hero moments that were kind of, quirky and fun, and you drop some jokes here, and then we go and fight some people there. Yes, that happened. But at the same time, it was a concise journey that was going somewhere, and the story was solid.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. In fact, the cool thing about this film is it's deceptively complex because it comes across as very simple. Even the way the trailer pitches it to you, it seems like such a simple movie. And I think that is totally necessary in order to get your butt in the seats. But then you get there and you're on for, as Courtney described, a roller coaster. And it's like, whoa, it just kind of catches you off guard in a mean way, but in an entertaining way at the same time. It's like you still get your Marvel jokes in there, but it's done with a lot more finesse. It's done with a lot more calculation so that it's not just kind of undermining every single moment. Like, one of my big complaints, I was just thinking back to it with Black Widow, was every time there was a potential moment for something meaningful, it got undermined by an explosion. Every single time. But here, you actually got to have those moments, and they lived for a second before continuing the movie. And I thought that was such a maturing of Marvel, if that makes any sense. And it's the most relatable Marvel film yet, I feel like. At least I was seeing the entire film like, dang, this is hitting. Okay.
There's been a lot of conversation about the concept of like superhero fatigue. And I think for me, this film journeyed into the concept of that fatigue, not just felt by the audience, but I think the fatigue felt by the heroes themselves. Mm-hmm. And it was so powerful because you've never really seen the aftermath or the conversation that heroes, go through after a battle. This was really kind of like groundbreaking in a way.
Yes, I felt like it was a breath of fresh air.
Well, I will say, kind of like piggybacking off what you said earlier about it's very simple. The mission is very simple. Survival. And it starts there. And it drops you right in, and you know exactly what the plan is. You know exactly what the problem is. And once our heroes figure that out and they start the journey, it's just a roller coaster that has heart. These characters do not have friends. They're not the ones that people would expect to be the heroes per se. Right. So watching them come together and figure out how to do what needs to be done is half of the fun of the film.
I agree wholeheartedly. While the story is simple, what it explores is complex. And
exactly, I agree with that.
It's not easy to tackle what it does, and it was allowed to have heart. It was allowed to take its time where it needed to take its time. And
it was complete.
And it was complete. Yeah, you have a whole movie here. Because a lot of times there's a lot of sequel baiting. And this film, like, it goes start to finish. And it's a whole film without baiting you into a sequel. Yes, like, that stuff is there, but it feels like a standalone movie. And you don't get that too often in, these ever-growing cinematic universe situations. I wondered this when the film ended. I was like, can you watch this without having watched anything else from Marvel at all? And I think that you could. Obviously, if you watch the other stuff leading up to it, it'll be a more fulfilling experience. But I feel like you could watch this and start here, and you'll be all right. You'll still get involved emotionally with the characters. They explain enough in the film without dragging the plot down so that they can catch you up to speed. I think it does such a great job of like bringing in people who haven't maybe seen the TV shows. It does such a strong job across the board with the story and the characters. And so, I mean, not all the characters get enough love, in my opinion, but like it comes in at just over 2 hours, and it does a solid job at doing a lot in those 2 hours.
Yeah.
There are some characters where I'm like, oh, I wish I got more out of that person right there. But like this was so much fun and such a delight, and it explored things in a way that I was not expecting. I wanted to migrate a little bit into the action. There are complex action sequences that happen in this movie that are fantastic. So many. There are also some action sequences that annoyed me, and this is more of me speaking to Hollywood, not so much to you guys, because I think most people are just going to watch the action and be like, this is amazing. And I can see why you feel that way. When I watch it, I'm watching a lot of people set up and be ready to take hits, and that's what bothers me. Even in the very first fight you see in the movie, there's a lot of like, okay, I'm going to attack now. Okay, I'm going to get hit now. And I'm just like, I'm tired of seeing security guards look like they know martial arts, ready to take a hit. It feels like a plan every time. And I'm tired of it feeling like there's a plan behind each action sequence that happens. That's half the time. The other half the time, it's amazing. Like, there's something they show you in the trailer with group efforts, and it's beautifully orchestrated between the movement of the actors and stunt people and the way the cameras, like, bring you through all of this.
Catch them. Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. And so I applaud that. Like, it's almost like, with a budget, you're going to spend more money on this scene, less money on this scene, because this is the scene that matters. Likewise, they were economical, I think, with the action, where the action scenes that really mattered, they put their money there.
I agree with everything that you're saying. There's, like the shot where it involves the Winter Soldier. I'll just say that. And I really enjoyed the entire scope of that scene. Uh-huh. And it was so beautifully done. And there were nuances that were fresh, that were thankfully kept out of the trailer that I got to experience in the moment. So that action sequence was absolutely incredible. Again, going back to what I said earlier about it being the lighthearted, like superhero, like Hulk smash and like Thor's, like uses Mjolnir to like strike lightning. But this was more so about the essence of what it means to be a hero.
Yeah.
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 And I think there was power in that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, again, I love this film. I thought it was fantastic. I strongly recommend it. And I think that, see it in the dopest theater you can. This is definitely like a theater experience.
See it in IMAX.
See it in IMAX. This isn't something you want to just watch on your iPhone. If you can watch it on a big screen, please do so. Do yourself a favor and watch it. Take your friends, your family, and your dog. Okay, y'all, thanks so much. Be good. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Courtney Scott Wright.
Peace out.